Welcome to Plant-Based Eating. Tonight, we're going to talk about understanding how you can improve your health and the environment. So if you have any questions as we move through the material, just go ahead and type them in the chat, and I'll answer as many as I can before we complete tonight. I'm Deborah Loader. I'm a certified master transformational health coach, and tonight we're going to talk about one of the ways to be healthier. Now, whether you're already eating a plant-based diet or you're just curious about plant-based eating, you'll learn something tonight that will take your health and the environment to the next level. The changes we make today can affect not only the quality and the length of our lives, but our planet as well. Living sustainably means different things to different people. And ultimately, sustainability is about living within our means and, if possible, leaving the planet in better shape for future generations. The term sustainability has been, and is, a hot topic. Everything is advertised as being green. But don't be fooled, because marketers are just appealing to our emotions. We all want to believe that we're doing our part when it comes to the environment. But what if there's more we can do for our health at the same time? As we all know, the main focus of health and well-being is surrounded by lifestyle choices, mainly diet and exercise. And this is nothing new, but do you understand the benefits associated with plant-based eating? Plant-based eating is associated with reduced risks of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and high blood pressure. And the environmental benefits include lowering your carbon footprint, conserving water, preserving ecosystems, and cleaner air. According to the United Nations, choosing healthier traditional Mediterranean, pescatarian, or vegetarian diets could not only boost human lifespans and the quality of life, but also slash emissions and save the habitat for endangered species. The World Health Organization compiles data about health and disease from around the world. Now, according to the World Health Organization, recent statistics report obesity rates have tripled since 1975. And in 2016, close to 2 billion adults, that's 2 billion adults, were considered overweight, of which 650 million were identified as obese. Most of the world's population live in countries where overweight and obesity kills more people than underweight, even though we may think that starvation is more prevalent. Obesity is preventable, right? It's caused by the increased intake of energy-dense foods, high in fat, coupled with lack of physical activity. Health consequences include cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer of the breast, prostate, liver, and colon. According to the World Health Organization, diabetes is a chronic metabolic disease characterized by elevated levels of blood glucose or blood sugar, which leads over time to serious damage to the heart, blood vessels, eyes, kidneys, and nerves. The number of adults living with diabetes has nearly quadrupled since 1980. 422 million adults currently have diabetes, and over 1 million deaths are attributed to diabetes annually, making diabetes one of the leading causes of death across the globe. Conditions associated with diabetes include blindness, amputation, and kidney failure. And like obesity, type 2 diabetes is preventable, right? It's preventable. Cardiovascular disease, or disorders of the heart and blood vessels, are the leading cause of death globally. In fact, 4 out of 5 cardiovascular deaths are due to heart attacks and strokes, and risk indicators include raised blood pressure, glucose, and lipids, as well as overweight and obesity. Indicators are associated with lifestyle-related factors, including an unhealthy diet and physical inactivity. And according to the World Health Organization, eating at least 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day and limiting your salt intake to less than 1 teaspoon a day also helps to prevent heart attacks and strokes. Now here's a couple key facts. 80% of premature heart attacks and strokes are preventable. And a heart-healthy diet includes plenty of fruits and vegetables, whole grain, lean meat, and fish, with restricted salt, sugar, and fat intake. And 30 minutes of regular physical activity every day helps to maintain cardiovascular fitness. And hypertension, right? Hypertension, or high blood pressure, is a condition causing stress on blood vessels and thus forcing the heart to work harder. High blood pressure is known as the silent killer because most people don't experience symptoms. That's why regular testing is crucial. And if left untreated, the result can be a heart attack or heart failure, stroke, kidney failure, blindness, and or cognitive impairment. There's strong evidence that the following steps can reduce the risk of hypertension: a healthy diet, reducing salt intake, getting at least 5 servings of fruits and veggies every day, limiting your saturated fat, limiting the intake of alcohol, regular physical activity, stopping tobacco use, and of course, reducing stress. The term carbon footprint isn't new, right? But few understand its meaning. Now, footprint describes the total impact of carbon, which refers to greenhouse gases. And greenhouse gases are various gases such as carbon dioxide and methane. And these compounds are released into the environment at alarmingly high rates due to the use of fossil fuels and agriculture. The World Watch Institute estimated that livestock production is responsible for as much as 51% of greenhouse gas emissions. So how does eating a plant-based diet reduce your carbon footprint? Consuming less meat reduces the amount of greenhouse gas emissions from the livestock production. Less land needed for livestock production equates to more land for carbon trapping crops. Of course, there's a lower demand for livestock if we're eating a plant-based diet. And by changing to a plant-based diet, the US could actually meet the greenhouse gas reduction goals. When we think of water conservation, we usually consider watering the lawn less frequently or maybe shortening our showers. However, the livestock industry uses gallons upon gallons of our supply of fresh water. So did you know that approximately 70% of the Earth's surface is water, right? And over 95% of that is ocean water, not fresh water, right? So now for some hard facts. Agriculture accounts for 80 to 90%. This is the use of our limited supply of fresh water. Just one hamburger uses 660 gallons. Right? So for comparison, an average shower uses about 17 gallons. Just one hamburger uses 660 gallons. Producing a pound of beef, 1 pound requires a total of 1,800 gallons of water. And it requires about 100 times more water to produce a pound of animal protein than a pound of grain protein. And it takes 1,000 gallons of water to produce just 1 gallon of milk. It's incredible, right? Ecosystems are biological communities made up of interacting organisms and their physical environment, and are important contributors of diversification where each species plays an important role. Biodiversity contributes to a greater number of plant species, offering a greater variety of crops, thus ensuring natural sustainability for all life forms. Approximately 1/3 of the land capable of being plowed and used to grow crops is currently used for animal agriculture. And animal agriculture largely contributes to deforestation, which is, the destruction of our forest land, and actually the destruction of land resulting from livestock grazing. And both phenomena contribute to the extinction of whole species of animals. So much so that it's estimated that US livestock grazing impacts 14% of threatened or endangered animals and 33% of threatened or endangered plants. Now, the bottom line is meat-centered diets are linked to harming human health and the destruction of the Earth's ecosystem. But I want you to catch that point, meat-centered. That doesn't mean never any meat, right? But a meat-centered diet is linked to harming human health and the destruction of the Earth's ecosystem. Livestock agriculture produces large quantities of manure and urine, which contaminate our air. And modern farming practices have evolved to keep the costs down. Unfortunately, this has resulted in tens of thousands of animals being crowded into small spaces, making the animal waste problem even worse. The concentrated waste being produced equates to approximately 2.7 trillion pounds of manure, which is 10 times that of what's produced by all American citizens. But what happens to all the waste? right? And farmers they call them manure lagoons to store all the waste. And while once believed to be safe, in 1995, 25 million gallons of manure and urine spilled from a hog farm lagoon into the New River in North Carolina. And this resulted in killing more than 10 million fish and the closing of 364,000 acres of coastal wetlands. And dead zones have become increasingly apparent, and they're linked to the pollution from not only the animal waste, but the chemical fertilizers. The Gulf of Mexico houses a 7,000 square mile area where no aquatic life can survive. 7,000 square miles, making it one of the largest dead zones in existence. Now that we know all the benefits and the benefits of plant-based eating, let's talk about what plant-based eating actually is. Now, the goal of plant-based eating is to increase your intake of nutrient-dense plant foods while limiting processed foods, oils, and animal foods. This style of eating is healthier because of because we limit the unhealthy fat intake. Foods to eat more of include vegetables, fruits, beans, peas, lentils, seeds, and nuts. Now, numerous studies back the health benefits associated with increasing plant-based foods in our diet while also decreasing processed foods. Now, the types of plant-based diets. There's several different plant-based diets. Now, the one I know that you're familiar with is vegan. Vegan excludes all animal products, especially meat, seafood, poultry, eggs, and dairy. Now, the raw plant-based diet, that's the same exclusion as vegan, as well as the exclusion of all food cooked at temperatures greater than 118 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, there's a lacto-vegetarian. This excludes eggs, meat, seafood, and poultry, but it includes milk products, right? Now, then there's an ovo-vegetarian, which excludes the meat, seafood, poultry, and dairy, but it includes eggs. Now, the one that we're probably at least I think of as vegetarian, it excludes meat, seafood, and poultry, but it includes eggs and dairy. Then there is the pescatarian, which excludes meat and poultry, but it includes seafood, eggs, and dairy. So keep in mind that while these diets restrict animal products, this by itself does not automatically guarantee a healthy diet, because vegetarian diets can still be high in processed foods and unhealthy carbs, fat, sugar, and salt. Many base their decision to follow a plant-based diet due to, many don't want to follow a plant-based diet due to the strictness, right? Or the stigma surrounding the label vegan or vegetarian. But that doesn't mean you can't follow a vegetarian or a vegan diet during the week and flex in other foods on the weekends. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. That's the beauty of a plant-based diet. So if you're looking for a style of eating that allows a little more flexibility, try the following: whole foods, plant-based, low fat, right? The whole foods, it encourages plant foods in their whole form, especially vegetables, fruits, legumes, and seeds and nuts, and it limits animal products and fat. Now, Mediterranean, and this is a very popular diet, it's similar to the whole foods, but a plant-based diet, but allows small amounts of chicken, dairy products, eggs, and red meat once or twice a month. Now, fish and olive oil are encouraged in a Mediterranean diet. Studies reveal adopting a Mediterranean, pescatarian, or vegetarian diet could reduce the incidence of type 2 diabetes by 25%, cancer by 10%, and death from heart disease by 20% relative to an omnivore diet. These diets are also associated with the lower greenhouse gas emissions and lower habitat destruction, right? So that makes it a win-win. So now that we've identified the health and environmental benefits of plant-based eating and various types of plant-based diets, it's time to talk food, right? Now, there are tons of resources available to help beginners. And, try signing up for a free meal planner. And that's at forksmealplanner.com. I'm going to put this in the chat real quick so that you have that. Okay. forksmealplanner.com. This is a free meal planner. There's meat-free recipes. It's called Meatless Monday. Check out there's actually a My Plate program for tips on meal planning. It's called choosemyplate.gov. Those are all websites you can go to. And if you don't have time to shop, try a meal delivery service like Blue Apron, HelloFresh, Home Chef, or Plated. All of those deliver food ready to be cooked right to your door. And you can order those from those places. You can order vegan or you can order vegetarian. And those all offer vegetarian options. If you want any of these, here, I'm going to put this one in the chat, if my computer will. Here we go. Will cooperate. And this other one, choosemyplate.gov. Another great resource. There. So one thing we haven't addressed is the monetary cost, right? Many people feel plant-based diets are more expensive. Now, while it's true that fresh produce can add up quickly, you can do a plant-based diet on a budget. Beans are a great meat replacement. Simply take your pick of black, pinto, kidney, garbanzo, cannelli, navy, any of those. A pound of beans runs about $1.20, while a pound of lean ground beef costs about $5.70. So it's a pretty significant difference. Now the following offers a comparison of price per gram of different protein sources. Rolled oats is 0.7 cents. Dry beans is 1.1. Dry chickpeas is 1.1. Brown rice is 1.9. Now steak is 4.5 cents. Ground beef is 4 cents. Milk is 2.7 cents. Ham and eggs are each about 2.5 cents per gram, and chicken is about 1.5 cents per gram. So if you think about a plant-based diet, we think about it being more expensive than a traditional meat-based diet, but it's really not. Transitioning to a plant-based diet may seem daunting, right? But you can start gradually. So here are a few tips. Start by eating more of the plant-based foods you already enjoy. Just eat them more often. Try adding more veggies into your current meals. Keep your favorite food in the rotation, right, of your meal planning through the week. Start by eliminating animal foods you don't eat that often. Meet other veggie friends, right? And collect recipes that pique your interest. There's lots of groups that you can, get new recipes, new ideas from. I have a Healthy and Happy Living Facebook group, and we give recipes and ideas all the time on that. Stock your kitchen only with foods that you want in the house. So if you want to get away from processed foods, don't buy them. Just stock your kitchen with whole foods. And this tip is really interesting. So it's do food prep straight from unloading your grocery bags. So you start right away, and that way, because I a lot of times I'll buy fresh vegetables and fruit and stick them away in the refrigerator or on the counter or someplace, and they end up going bad before I even have a chance to use them. But if I start that food prep as soon as I come home, then those are already, maybe cut them up and into individual bags so that I'll have them to just grab and go. Now here's another question that people will often ask for plant-based eating, plant-based diets is, where to shop. Most foods will probably already be offered in your current grocery store. However, don't be afraid to try somewhere new. Even try going to a different location if you're set on a particular store. You may be surprised to see the different items at a new store. And natural food stores can be pricey, so look for deals or just shop for hard to find items at a natural food store. Most cities have a variety of, fresh farmer market. You can buy seasonal and local foods that will be better for you and the environment, plus you get to support a local farmer. Or even try growing your own. Now, online food shopping has increased in popularity. Now, first-time shoppers are usually offered a discount, so keep an eye out for those as well. There's several markets that I've seen online that you can buy and have it delivered right to the house. And that's especially helpful if you're busy and you don't have a lot of time. I want to talk about some options for plant-based eating. So here's 5 days of breakfast, and I have all the recipes here. So if you want the recipes, please just send me, put a note in the chat or on my Facebook page and let me know, and I will send all of the recipes to you. So here are the 5 breakfast items. Apple lemon breakfast bowl. That sounds absolutely amazing to me. Orange French toast. Easy overnight notes with, excuse me, easy overnight oats with chia. Apple walnut breakfast bread, and black bean and sweet potato hash. Now, breakfast provides the energy to start the day, and it's the perfect opportunity to pack in the nutrients. So eating a balanced, healthy breakfast sets the tone for the rest of the day. And that heavy, greasy, high-fat breakfast can leave you sleepy and sluggish. So if you really just love those breakfasts, maybe leave that indulgence for the weekend. Now here are some grain-tastic recipes. There's a quinoa primavera, Caribbean rice, mushroom and green pea risotto, curried millet cakes with red pepper coriander sauce, barley and sweet potato pilaf. Why are grains so fantastic? The fiber, right? As adults, we should be getting 25 to 35 grams of fiber every single day. The average adult only eats 15 grams of fiber a day. Fiber helps you feel fuller longer because it digests slowly. And fiber helps to control blood sugar, lower bad cholesterol, and reduce colon cancer risk. Now here's what you've been waiting for, right? The sweet tooth. Here are some desserts. Hidden berry dessert squares, warm peach and raspberry crumble, pumpkin spice chia pudding, cherry chocolate chip bliss balls, and watermelon basil ice. That sounds amazing for the summertime. We all know sugar intake should be limited, but why? So I've got a comment. I like all of the recipes. Yes, don't they sound good? So excessive amounts of sugar can lead to your liver becoming resistant to insulin, which is a cause of type 2 diabetes. Our body uses glucose as energy. However, when our intake of glucose or sugar is too high, our body stores the excess as fat. And high sugar intake is associated with obesity, diabetes, and even heart disease. Now, these are some of my favorite ones. Comfort foods. We can't have a plant-based diet without some comfort foods. Sweet potato mac and cheese. A budget-friendly lentil bolognese. Penne with tomato mushroom sauce. Mediterranean vegetable spaghetti. And pasta primavera. Those all sound amazing. We love our comfort food. If you'd like to learn more about the topics covered today, I'm going to put a list of books in the chat that are some reading materials that I found interesting and helpful. So I'm going to copy this and put this in the chat. Excuse me. Those are all great materials. We have the China study. Sorry. How about the one from Michael Greger, MD, How Not to Die? Sorry, I have a tickle. I'll try not to cough in your ear. So thank you for taking time to learn about plant-based eating 101. Now, if you have any further questions, go ahead and put those in the chat. And in a moment, I'm going to put up my contact information and you will have that handy. So don't forget, I am always here to support you. If you'd like to talk more about your health, your goals, and how I can support you, let's schedule a time to talk about your obstacles and your struggles and your dreams and desires. Here's my contact information. I hope you enjoyed this information. And don't forget, I'm always here if you have any questions. Please let me know what you found most interesting. Because I need another drink of water. I hope that Plant-Based Eating 101 exceeded your expectations and you feel encouraged and even well equipped with the knowledge and the resources and the tools to take control of your health. Now, because you registered, you will receive a link with a recording of this webinar. So please let me know if you're interested in any of the recipes or the book titles. Well, actually, I put those in the chat, so you would have those, but I can email those to you too. Any questions, just let me know. And have a blessed, wonderful week. And until next time, I invite you to live well. We have one more question before we close. Thank you. So thank you, and you're welcome for the presentation. And I look forward to talking to you too, talk more about the plant-based diet and how to have a great, healthy life and to take care of the environment. So have a wonderful evening, and I invite you to live well. Till next time.